We literally only have 3 months left in this year. It's time to lock in. It's not funny anymore. We need to buckle up and start accomplishing some of these goals, because I know for a fact there are some of us out here who haven't accomplished half of the things on our list for this year, who haven't accomplished any of the things on our list this year, and I don't want that for us. There is no reason why our 2020 goals are still our 2024 goals, and our 2024 goals are about to be our goals in 2025. No, none of that. As we know, mindset is everything, and personally, I think 3 months is actually a lot of time. I really believe you can change your life in as little as a week. So what is that now, like 12 weeks? Like, we've got this. But if we want to do it, we need to start now. I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks on how to completely change your life before 2025, so that you don't spend another year doing absolutely nothing and feeling crap about yourself, because I don't want that for you. Step number 1 is to choose a maximum of 4 goals. So I'm going to insert a list of my goals that I had for this year. I had 10 goals on, I think I had 10, but I'll usually choose 10 to 12 goals because I like that kind of number. It's like 1 for every month. So choose your most 4 crucial goals on that list, because we don't have time to accomplish everything now. I know we love to be positive, but we also need to be realistic. I'm not accomplishing all the 10 things that were on that list anymore. How am I going to do that in literally 2 seconds? Next, you want to cut these goals in half, because again, sorry, but we have to be realistic. I want you to feel good about accomplishing your goals instead of feeling like you didn't accomplish anything. If you had a goal to lose 100 pounds, you're just not going to do that by the end of the year. So it's better you at least cut that in half so that you can actually feasibly accomplish what you wanted, than to be like, darn, I didn't even do what I wanted to do. No. So for example, on my list, I had that I wanted to lose 40 pounds and get fitter. There's 3 months left in the year. I'm not losing 40 pounds, but I could cut that in half into 20 and for sure lose 20 pounds. I had a goal to read 12 books this year. I think I've literally read maybe 3 or 4. If I cut that in half, that's 6 books. I could easily read 6 books by the end of the year. Maybe not easily, but I could do it. It's more feasible. Next, you want to identify what's holding you back. This could be so many things. It could be like, for example, your friend group. Maybe you have a goal to get fitter this year and you have a friend group that's going out every single weekend, drinking every single weekend. They're calling you up asking you if you want to go out to eat every 3 days. They're calling you up at 12 a.m. asking you if you want to go for a McDonald's run. No. We can't be having that. And I'm not saying to cut out those friends. I'm just saying to cut out those activities, because that's going to be what's holding you back. So, I'm going to tell that friend, hey, if you want to go for a walk, if you want to go for a jog, if you want to go for a hike, if you want to go for a drive around town, I'm there. But don't invite me to no McDonald's at 12 a.m. because I have a goal. I have a goal that I have to accomplish in about right now. Something that was holding me back was not having a good daily routine. I didn't have a good morning routine and I didn't have a good night routine, so I didn't have any consistency, so I wasn't able to do things consistently. For example, one of my goals this year was to read 12 books. If I don't have a good morning routine or a good night routine, when am I going to be reading those books? If I'm just living my life and going with the flow and going on TikTok every night and going on TikTok in the morning, when am I going to have time to read those books if I don't have a good routine in place? So that was something that was holding me back, was literally the absence of a routine. One of my goals, it's not on my 2024 list because it was like a newly recent goal that I just set out for myself, was to, actually it might be on my list. I feel like I may have something about developing better routines in my 2024 year goals, but regardless, that was a goal that I've had. I do have a job outside of making YouTube videos, and on top of that, I am also a lash artist. So I just have days where I'm working very long hours, and my 2 days are never ever really the same. Like, I don't work a 9 to 5. Sometimes I would come home so late or finish work so late at night, and I didn't want to do the whole night routine. There were days where I would literally just take off my makeup and go to sleep because I was just so exhausted, and that's not going to cut it. One thing I started doing was, when I would go and like take my shower, wash my face, I would dim the lights, I would light a candle, I would play music, and that gave me, it was fun for me. Like, it made it enjoyable for me. It wasn't just a chore. I wasn't getting home at 9 p.m. and being like, oh my god, now I have to take off my makeup and wash my face and take a shower and yada yada. It was like, oh my gosh, I get to like go on tour in the shower and sing all my favorite songs and light a smelly candle, and it was just like a self-care routine for me. So I started to actually enjoy it. On top of that, I have a desk here where I do like my makeup and my skincare, and I found just like after all the day's work, I did not want to sit there and do all the extra things, especially after taking my shower and exfoliating and doing all the things I just said. So what did I do? I decided, hey, I'm gonna get a bedside lamp for my table so that I can put all those products on my bedside table so that I can do these things while I'm laying in bed. Am I not Einstein? Like, is that not so smart? Who doesn't want to do things in bed? I've literally seen people film workout videos in bed. Me making it so that I had something that I could literally pick up, barely had to lift a finger so I could do this routine, made it so much easier and enjoyable for me. Now that I can literally do those things laying in bed, I have no excuse. Like, girl, if you can't even do a little lip mask while laying in bed, like, we're praying for you, we're worried for you, because it's giving beyond lazy. Once I was able to do this, I cut out what was holding me back. My motivation is only going to get you so far. What's most important in it is discipline, and when all else fails, you need to have a routine in place or something in place that makes it easier to do something when you literally don't want to do it. This is a very crucial step. I promise you, this kind of sounds mean, but you are never going to accomplish goals if you still have things holding you back. If you're chained to the wall, how are you ever going to take any steps forward? If you have a 50-pound backpack on your back, it's going to be 10 times harder to walk up that hill. So you need to identify what is holding you back and start cutting out the habits, the activities. You need to start cutting out the laziness, or you need to identify ways where you can make things more enjoyable. That even on your worst day, you're still able to accomplish these goals. So the next step is to make all of your goals into habits, and preferably find a way to do a habit tracker. You can do a habit tracker on your devices, like on your phone, your computer. I personally recommend to do a physical habit tracker, like on your wall or something that you can physically tear down like every single new day. For example, some people who are doing the 75 hard challenge, they'll write every single day, like 1 through 75 each on a post-it note, and every single day they're taking those post-it notes off the walls. That is something that's going to motivate you because it's very visual. If you have something on your wall next to your bed or wherever, somewhere where you're constantly going to see it, that's going to motivate you because you don't have to seek it out. You're just constantly going to be reminded of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that's going to motivate you to do better. And we as humans, we like to see progress. We like to see fuller bars, like full progress bars. We like to see check marks. So having a habit tracker and developing your goals into habits is going to make it so much easier to stick with it. Another goal I had on this list was to get my right, my left, and my middle split. So if I want to make this into a habit, maybe every single morning or every single night, I'm going to do a 10-minute stretching routine or a 5-minute stretching routine. That is something that I can easily quantify into a habit, and I can easily check it off every single day if I'm doing it. And then I'm able to see the progress bar. I'm able to take the post-it notes off my wall. That's something that has now become a habit in my everyday routine. My next piece of advice for bigger goals that aren't as straightforward would be to try and make a new goal towards that overall goal every single week. So let me explain. So for example, on my list for this year, I said I wanted to lose 40 pounds, which is now, again, cut down into 20 pounds. There's a lot of different components that are going to help you reach that goal. For example, you have to eat healthier. For example, you might have to fix a gut issue. For example, you might have to drink more water. You might have to start working out. You might have to start taking care of your mind better. There's a lot of different things that all work together to be able to lose weight and be fitter. With goals like this that are less straightforward, you want to come up with a goal every single week. Using weight loss and becoming fitter as an example, maybe this week I'm going to start a Pinterest board with meal ideas, and then next week I'm going to start a Pinterest with workout ideas, and I'm going to plan a meal and a workout plan for myself. And then the week after that, I'm going to sign up for the gym. And then the week after that, I'm going to implement a couple classes and start doing my workout plan. And then the week after that, I'm going to buy a bunch of groceries and start meal prepping. So it's like one thing every single week that you're doing that's going to all come together to accomplish that overarching goal. So this can be done with anything that's not so cut and dry. You would know what your goals are, and if it's possible, try and make these goals into smaller weekly goals, because then it's just so much easier to digest and actually accomplish if you're slowly cutting away at the huge goals. So next we want to find a motivator, and as we know, discipline is what is most important because motivation comes and goes. You have it 1 minute, next minute you don't. It literally has like a 2-second warranty. It has a 2-second time limit. So we want to be able to find a motivator that's going to be something that we can constantly reference. So this could be something like a vision board. This could be something like a reward system. Maybe it's like a final accomplishment reward. It could be even documenting your progress online or to your friends. I know me personally, if I was gonna do a challenge or try and complete a goal, let's say for example 75 hard, if I was gonna do that challenge, I would document it online. I would document it with a friend, I would document it with a family member. I would never just keep that to myself, because I know for a fact something that's that hard to complete, I'm almost bound to fail. In the same breath, I know myself. If I was to film every single day of 75 hard and post it online, I have that accountability there. I have people liking my videos. I have people following me for this content. I have people commenting, you know, every couple days, every week. Hey, what's your progress? Hey, what's your update? Can you share this? If I have all that, if I have all these people with all these expectations, I'm not quitting, because I would just be embarrassed. If you had all these people banging at your door wondering for an update, you would make sure you're prim and proper and sticking to your routines. You have to do this now. You're locked in. You have no choice unless you want to embarrass yourself. Another thing is obviously a vision board. I really recommend this, but it's not as dire. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not as like, oh my God, I have to do this. But it can be a really great way of keeping yourself accountable. And why not do both? I remember in this past school year when I literally had 10 courses and they were all science-based courses. At the beginning I was doing fine, and then throughout the middle I started to lose motivation, and by the time it came to the end, I literally was like crawling through the courses. I had to lock in and literally make myself a vision board, and I put on all these things that just reminded me of why I was doing what I was doing, and I posted it right like in front of my desk, so that whenever I was studying, whenever I was doing my homework, and I would be like, actually, you know what, I'm just gonna hand it in like this. Actually, you know what, I don't feel like studying anymore. When I would look up and see that vision board, I'd be like, oh, right, okay. Actually, I need to lock back in. Next step, I would say, would be to surround yourself with similar vibes. So what I mean by this would be to find a support group. I recently discovered that Facebook has pages, and I've been following so many of those where people will, it's all like-minded people, and they'll all just post about that specific topic. For example, I just joined like a gym group on Facebook, and people are always showing like their transformations, they're showing their meals, they're giving their tips and tricks. If you're surrounding yourself by things that align with those goals, you have no choice but to also align yourself with that goal. So that would be my last tip before I end off this video, but I do have a kind of like a little bit of a bonus tip that I want to throw in here, which is to try and use dead time. You might be wondering, what is dead time? This is anything throughout the day where you basically have time that you can multitask during. So for example, I remember when I used to work a desk job and I wasn't getting enough steps, I just wasn't being active enough, I would literally walk in place and march in place as I brush my teeth, because for me, brushing my teeth was dead time. Like, I can easily multitask. Another bonus goal would be to make yourself a conditional offer. So again, like, maybe I can only watch TV if I'm also working out at the same time, because you can easily multitask as you're watching TV. People do it all the time. I see people at the gym like with their phone and their headphones in and they're watching TV. So why not kill two birds with one stone and accomplish both things at the same time? You can still have fun and watch TV, but maybe you're also going to go on the treadmill at the same time. Another bonus goal would also be to make yourself a contract. So if I was to make a contract today and I wanted to put on all my goals for the rest of this year, I would be like, I would make it very fancy, okay? I come from a political science background, so I would write the date, I would write the time, I would have a spot for a signature, I would have everything on there, and I would say, today is yada yada yada, the year is yada yada yada, by this specific date, by December 31st, 2024, I will accomplish blah blah blah, and literally sign it and place it in a spot where you will constantly be seeing it. Because when you're constantly seeing these things, it's going to motivate you, and you're literally going to be ashamed of yourself if you walk by this contract that you signed. You signed that. There's no takebacks. You physically signed that now. You're locked in. You're bound to this contract, so you can't be turning your back. That is another really great tip, and that happens to be my last bonus tip. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much again for all the love on the last one. And if you have any suggestions, comments, anything like that, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.